Hey, what's up, everybody? You know, I was hoping to do this as soon as I could, but this is just my response to what everybody's been talking about and calling these annual cleaning or spring, summer cleaning, whatever you want to call it, by the WWE. Throughout this year, WWE has released some people haven't really been that big of a surprise. Some have just been from, some people have just, like I said, not that been that big of a surprise, and some have been not really much of a surprise or not even known they were going to be released because, because most of the releases, with the exception of in-betweens here and there, most of the releases have been men and women wrestlers, superstars, divas, competing in FCW. So, again, not many real surprises until today. This is one that everybody was talking about. I mean, the last major release, I guess, WWE did was Chavo, and everybody now has been getting on Chavo's case for sort of being bitter for his situation in WWE before he got released. But some of the releases today, some were not big surprises and a few were shockers. Superstar wise, um, there was superstar wise, there was Chris Masters, D.H. Smith, Vladimir Kozlov, which to many really weren't big surprises. Maybe the biggest possibly being Vladimir because he was seen more than Chris and D.H. But not really much of a surprise. And I have a feeling maybe in effect Masters and Smith may be the only ones that might have a chance of coming back. I think right now the whole situation is due to financial reasoning. But then the big shockers came actually from the Divas, and those being Gail, Kim, and Melina. Now, some people said that Gail Kim had been trying to get released or trying to quit, trying to get out of the company because she felt WWE wasn't using Divas properly. So Gail Kim may not come back. I get a feeling if Gail does resurface, it'll be back in Impact Wrestling. We'll just have to see what happens. But her main reason for quitting or being released or getting let go was due to the fact that she felt WWE wasn't using the Divas properly or showcasing them properly. And then the biggest one, of course, was Melina. Now, Melina had been one of my favorite divas in WWE, but Melina had actually in the recent year or so had been getting some backstage heat due to her situation. The backstage heat really, I guess, got to a boiling point, from what I understand, when she got upset with the fact that Trish Stratus took her spot at WrestleMania. And to me, and I guess not just to me, but I guess to some, well, not me, because I didn't care either if it was Melina or Trish. It really wouldn't have mattered to me. But I guess to some, it was Melina's, backstage heat of that and causing trouble due to that, because due to the fact that she was upset that she felt Trish took her spot and maybe in a way she was starting to show disrespect to somebody who won the title, who not only is not only the only 7-time women's champion in history and a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm pretty sure anybody would agree with that. But also just showing disrespect to someone that kind of paved the way for her and other divas to be in the positions they were in. And when I first heard that story too, I have to agree. Even though I like Melina, I have to agree with the fact that Melina's on-screen character was a bad girl, basically a heel diva. So, it wouldn't have really made any sense for Melina to team with her off-screen boyfriend, John Morrison, and Snooki in that six-person tag at WrestleMania because she was a heel. It wouldn't have made sense. To me, it wouldn't have really made sense unless they would have figured out a way to turn her babyface and had to step up and take Trish's place. But again, it really didn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? It really wouldn't have made no sense. So, but to me, I've kind of come to expect this sometimes. Like anybody else, I was kind of surprised a little bit with probably the Divas most of all, not the other three. But what I've been looking at lately over the past few years is sort of like a pattern, and maybe you guys can understand what I'm coming with this pattern. This pattern, what I'm talking about, is that any time someone that you feel has potential, if given the right opportunity to be a huge deal in the company, either as a superstar or a diva, when you start having that person jobbing out to, as many put it, people that shouldn't even be in the ring, or divas that are, as I put it, OJTing, on-the-job training while competing in the ring, then that kind of tells you that that person who's jobbing out to them is on the verge of possibly either getting a push again, probably getting re-energized or revigorated back into a push, or most likely, as we've seen over the years, getting ready to be shown the door. And that's probably the situation here and that's possibly the biggest possibly, but probably the strongest possibility with these five. Because, you had Chris Masters win here and there at times, but most of the time he was jobbing. Vladimir recently was a tag team champion, lost the titles to the Core, I'm guessing, and then they, something like that. They lost the titles to the Core, and so basically it's kind of like, or the New Nexus maybe, I can't really think of it. Core, New Nexus, I can't think of it right now. No, they lost them to the Core because the Core lost them to Kane and Big Show. And, they hadn't really been used that much except for as jobbers. So, with Vladimir wasn't really that big of a deal, and he'd been mostly seen on NXT. And D.H. Smith, well, I don't know what happened with him. I don't know if he was just held off for a while, he was doing house shows, or he was just put back to FCW, but that kind of comes as a surprise. But like I said, if anybody does get another chance, I have a feeling it will be Smith and it will be Masters. I know that sounds crazy, but those two I think are the most logical choices, superstar-wise, out of these five that might get a return to WWE in the near future. Melina might get one. I don't know about Gail. I hope she does, but we'll just have to wait and see. But 5 releases. It's really a big surprise. Probably the most they've released this year. And these are actually very recognizable names, but again, like I said, the way the patterns are just there, the clues were just there that they were probably on the way out. They were always jobbing, like I said, to people that many felt really didn't belong in the ring, and many felt were OJTing, on-the-job training, while competing in the ring, in this case, the Divas division. So when you start seeing people like that jobbing to people that you feel they shouldn't be jobbing to, then they're on the way out. And especially if they start appearing mainly lately on WWE.com shows like Superstars and NXT, primarily there. Superstars is usually, superstars is kind of like 50-50. It's like a 50% chance that's your last stop for release, and 50% chance that that's your first stop or your final stop before you get the push that you deserve or you've earned. So it's kind of 50-50 on superstars, but the way I look at it with NXT, when you're regulated to that, it's almost like a guarantee that it's a 75-25% deal, and the 75% deal to me is you're going to be heading out in the near future, if that's where you're just primarily shown. And it's a 25% chance that you might get, returned to the main areas. But like I said, when you start jobbing out to those, like I said, that many feel don't really belong in the ring, shouldn't be competing in the ring, especially like the Divas division, for example. When you start jobbing out to them, it's like you're basically, that pattern. You're following the same pattern as others before you, and you'll be heading out that door. So, again, not really much of a surprise, maybe with the Divas, but to me, it's more like they're just following the same pattern. So, here's what I'm saying. If you start seeing superstars and divas that you feel and believe can definitely be more than what you see, and you start seeing them job out to those that you feel they shouldn't be jobbing out to, or if you feel that you're mainly just seeing them on things like superstars with a 50-50% chance, or on NXT with sort of a 25-75% chance, then you kind of get the idea that something's not right. And but mainly the pattern you want to look at is if they continuously job to those that you feel they really shouldn't be jobbing out to. So, but that's just my take on Chris Masters, D.H. Smith, Vladimir, Gale, and Melina being released today. Give me your comments down below if you want to, and I'll talk to you all later.